Can I ask you something? Have you ever wanted to say something important in English? Something personal? Something from your heart? But when the moment came, your mind went completely blank? Not because you didn't know the words, not because you were lazy, but because you were scared. Scared of making mistakes, scared of sounding strange, scared of being judged. Maybe you've experienced this before. Someone asks you, "What's your biggest fear?" And suddenly, your heart starts beating faster, your brain starts searching for words, and all you can say is, I don't know. Maybe. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone.
Wow, that feels very familiar. Honestly, when someone asks me a personal question in English, I panic. I know the answer in my language. I know exactly what I want to say. But in English, everything disappears.
And that's exactly why we're talking about this today, because today is not just about English, it's about fear. It's about confidence. It's about expressing your feelings. And if you've ever felt embarrassed speaking English, stay with us, because this conversation might change the way you see yourself.
Can I tell you something embarrassing?
Of course.
A few years ago, I joined an online English speaking group. I was excited. I wanted to improve. Everyone was introducing themselves. Everything was going fine. Then someone asked me, "What's your biggest fear?" And suddenly, I froze.
What happened?
Inside my head, I knew the answer. My biggest fear was failure, but I couldn't explain it. I kept thinking, what's the correct grammar? Which tense should I use? How do I pronounce failure? And while I was thinking, the silence became longer and longer and longer. Then I just said, I don't know.
Even though you knew.
Exactly. And I felt terrible afterward. I thought, maybe my English is too bad. Maybe I'll never speak confidently. Maybe everyone else is better than me.
Wait, let's stop right there, because so many listeners are thinking the same thing. And here's something important. The problem was not English. The problem was fear.
Fear?
Yes, fear makes your brain slow down. Fear makes simple words disappear. Fear makes you doubt yourself. Even native speakers struggle when they feel nervous. Most learners don't realize this. They think, if I learn more grammar, I'll be confident. But confidence doesn't come from perfect grammar. Confidence comes from speaking even when you're nervous.
So, how can someone talk about their biggest fear if their English isn't perfect?
By keeping it simple. Very simple. Let's imagine someone asks, "What's your biggest fear?" You don't need a complicated answer. You can say, "My biggest fear is failure," or "My biggest fear is losing someone I love," or "I am afraid of speaking in public." Simple, clear, honest.
That sounds much easier.
Because it is easier. Many learners try to sound smart, but communication is more important than sounding impressive. Here's another example. Instead of saying, "I possess a profound anxiety regarding future uncertainty," you can simply say, "I'm afraid of the future." And guess what? People understand you.
I think learners often forget that.
Exactly. Can I tell you something honestly? The people listening to you are not waiting for perfect English. They're waiting for your message, your feelings, your story, and that's a beautiful thing. Let me tell you about someone I met. Her name was Sarah. She was learning English. Very shy, very quiet. Whenever people spoke English around her, she stayed silent. One day I asked her, "What's your biggest fear?" She looked down. Then she quietly said, "My biggest fear is that people think I'm stupid because my English is not good." And my heart broke, because so many learners feel this way.
That's sad.
It is. But then something happened. A few months later, she started speaking more, making mistakes, laughing at mistakes, learning from mistakes. And one day she told me, "Now my biggest fear is not English anymore."
Really?
Yes, because confidence grew little by little, not overnight, not magically, one small conversation at a time, and that's how confidence grows for everyone, including you. Okay, let's practice together. Wherever you are, walking, driving, relaxing at home, speak with us. Ready?
Let's do it.
Repeat after me. My biggest fear is... Again, my biggest fear is... Good. Now, I am afraid of making mistakes. Again, I am afraid of making mistakes. Very good. Now, I want to become more confident. Again, I want to become more confident. Excellent.
This feels surprisingly comfortable.
Because repetition removes fear, every sentence you repeat is one more step forward. Remember that.
What mistakes do beginners usually make when talking about fears?
Great question. Mistake number 1, trying to use difficult vocabulary. Simple is better. Mistake number 2, waiting until your English is perfect. That day never comes. Mistake number 3, comparing yourself to others.
Ouch. That one hurts.
Because it's true. You see someone speaking fluently, and you think, why can't I speak like that? But you don't see their journey. You don't see the years of practice. You don't see the mistakes. You only see the result. And comparison steals confidence.
I've definitely done that.
Most learners have. If you've ever compared yourself to someone else's English, type yes in the comments. Seriously, you'll realize how many people feel exactly the same way.
Can I share something funny?
Please do.
Once, I wanted to say, I'm afraid of spiders, but I got nervous, and somehow I said, I'm married to spiders.
What?
Yes, everyone started laughing, and honestly, I wanted to disappear.
And what happened after that?
Nothing. The world didn't end. Nobody hated me. Everyone just laughed and moved on.
Exactly. This is such an important lesson. Sometimes we act like mistakes are disasters, but they're not. They're moments, funny moments, human moments, learning moments. And honestly, people often remember your courage more than your mistakes. Can I tell you something important? Sometimes our biggest fear isn't English.
What do you mean?
Many learners think, I'm afraid of speaking English, but deeper down, they're afraid of judgment. They're afraid of rejection. They're afraid of looking foolish. English is not the real fear. The real fear is emotional.
Wow, I've never thought about it that way.
Most people haven't, but when you understand this, everything changes. Because now you're not fighting grammar, you're learning to be brave. And bravery is built through action, not perfection. Let me tell you one final story. Years ago, a young man moved to a new country. His English was very limited. Every conversation felt scary. Every phone call felt terrifying. Every mistake felt huge. One day, he almost quit learning English. He thought, I'll never be good enough. But instead of quitting, he made one promise. Just one. He promised himself he would speak every day, even if it was only one sentence. One sentence, that's all. Days became weeks, weeks became months, months became years, and eventually he became fluent. Do you know what changed everything? Not talent, not intelligence, not perfect grammar. Consistency. Small steps, repeated every day.
That's powerful.
Because that's how real progress works. Quietly, slowly, patiently. Let's finish with some powerful sentences. Repeat after me. I am learning. I am improving. My mistakes help me grow. I do not need perfect English. I can express my feelings. I can speak with confidence. I am proud of my progress. Very good. Take a moment. Notice how those words feel. Sometimes confidence begins with the sentences we tell ourselves.
You know, I think many people watching this needed to hear that.
I think so too. Because learning English can feel lonely sometimes. You open your phone, you see fluent speakers, perfect accents, perfect grammar, perfect conversations, and you wonder, why am I still struggling? But here's the truth. You are not behind. You are learning. You are growing. You are trying. And that matters more than you realize.
That's comforting.
Because it's true. And if nobody told you this today, I'm proud of you. Not because your English is perfect, but because you're still here, still learning, still showing up, still trying. That takes courage. Before we go, I want you to remember something. Your biggest fear does not define you. Your mistakes do not define you. Your current English level does not define you. You are more than that. Every sentence you speak, every word you learn, every mistake you survive is proof that you're moving forward, slowly, patiently, beautifully. So the next time someone asks, "What's your biggest fear?" take a breath, smile, and answer with whatever English you have, because your voice matters, even when it's imperfect, especially when it's imperfect.
And remember, you're not learning alone. We're all learning together, one conversation at a time.
Thank you for spending this time with us. If this conversation helped you feel a little less afraid, a little more confident, and a little less alone, then please subscribe and join our growing learning family. And before you leave, tell us in the comments, what is your biggest fear? You can write a simple sentence. Don't worry about mistakes. Just express yourself. We'll see you in the next conversation. Take care of yourself. Keep speaking, keep growing, and remember, you are braver than you think. Goodbye, my friend.